Hello and welcome
Hello.
to Hat Chat. We are in the same place, on the same table, if you are listening to this.
We
back
are.
to the original setup that we intended to have for Hat Chat. Episode
107?
number 107.
Yeah, 107.
107. With your hosts, I'm Chris Trott.
I'm Ross Hornby.
And I'm Alex Smith. Hello.
And
Hello.
we are piping into your ears. It's nice to be back in the office.
Yeah, it took us like 90 minutes to set this up in terms of cameras and clearing the table and stuff, so it's a little bit rushed in that sense, but yeah, here we are. You feeling good? You feel like you're in a nice, cold,
lovely
cool,
to be in here.
air-conditioned space?
Yeah, we're in the middle of a
On
heat
this
wave.
Second heat wave of the year.
32 right now, according to my watch. It's going to hit
Celsius.
like 36 by like 4 p.m.
Really?
Oh,
Yeah.
Today?
Really?
Today, yeah.
Really?
Oh.
36?
Could well be 36
Oh.
today.
That's got to be
What?
one of the hottest temperatures we've ever experienced in England.
Well, no, wasn't it? Didn't it hit?
It hit
30?
40. I mean, we personally.
In London.
Oh.
Yeah. And isn't it? I was just thinking before
That's
the whole
nuts, man.
inevitable heat wave talk, we like speaking about the weather in England.
We are weather driven.
It's
Yeah.
weird to say your own name. Do you ever find it weird to say
you
your
said
own name?
your own name just now.
Do you ever get that feeling? You're like,
Yeah.
I'm Alex Smith. And you're like, I'm Alex Smith.
I'm attached to that name.
Yeah, yeah. Somebody's given me that name.
Yeah.
I haven't chosen it.
Yeah.
And I have to call myself it.
Yeah. But
There's-
like, it's because you don't reference yourself on a daily basis like that. Who
Could
does?
I be like out there and say it's kind of the same as not choosing your sexual identity
Yeah.
Well,
in
yeah, I guess so.
biology?
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
It's like,
Well, that's
I'm
the
a
thing
male.
But, well,
But
yeah,
there-
but
there's a
yeah,
very-
because you wouldn't go I'm gay or I'm straight like on a daily basis because it's just
well,
who
you
are.
do, and if you
But-
fill out forms all the time.
Well, yeah, of course, yeah.
Fill out forms. I've got a job where I just fill out forms about myself constantly.
Yeah.
Yeah. I guess like you have a very intimate relationship with like your experience. Don't
There's
you?
so many
Like,
Alex Smiths. Actually,
Yeah, I know. Honestly, you say this, you joke. Like literally, they
It's
use
like,
it
I'm
as
Spartacus.
they use it for a placeholder for things all the time. Like
Alex
and-
Smith, Joe Blogs,
Mr.
and
Smith,
Alex
Yeah.
Smith.
Mr. A. Smith.
it really is. Yeah. So shout out
So
to my
does it
parents
feel
for that
less
one.
special because of that, or
In a way,
I'm
yeah.
just saying someone else's
I
name.
think I quite like my name. I do think I like my name. I think the last name's
It's
a
not
bit
a
like,
bad name.
meh. But like,
You know one other Ross Hornby.
yeah.
Who's that?
His name's Ross Hornby.
Oh, no way.
Who's that?
You know one other Ross
That was
Hornby.
I got my Instagram off him because he had the same username.
Oh, so you
I
don't-
asked him to like.
Can
swap.
I have it back, please?
And he was like, "Yeah, sure."
I'm the better
I just
Ross
wanted
Hornby.
a clean username.
And what did you give him?
Well, no, he just wasn't bothered about it because he's like,
Oh.
"Oh yeah, sure."
Oh, fuck. Wow, how lucky.
So it was pretty cool. I
Yeah.
was like, "Oh, nice."
Would you say he's the
I'm Ross
nicer Ross Hornby than you? 'Cause
Clearly,
you
Yeah.
I was
wanted his
demanding.
stuff.
Yeah. Well, I was just asking if he was like, I asked him if he wanted to sell it, but you can't.
Yeah.
And he was just like, "No, I'm not that fast." I was like, "Oh, cool." But
Hell yeah.
Ross Hornby.
You
I was like,
offered to
And
buy
then there were a
it.
group of Rosses who invited me into a group once, and I found that awkward.
That
and
is
that was
left
immediately.
Facebook, wasn't it? Well, remember
Yeah,
when
I
Facebook
was like,
first
I don't
started?
want to be
Yeah.
here.
Yeah. Oh, these Ross Hornbys are all assholes.
Yeah. Like,
It's
hey
like the
guys, what's
Nigel.
up? I'm from this place. It's
Hey,
like,
shut the fuck up, you
I don't-
English Ross Hornby nerd.
yeah, it's like, oh, I don't like any of these people. Ross Hornbys are terrible.
Oh,
Terrible people.
Chris Trotz, I think there's a guy that works in Canada.
yeah.
Oh yeah,
There
is that
is,
the
yeah.
ambassador? Oh, no, that's another Ross Hornby.
Oh, there's
Yeah.
another.
Wait, no, I'm googling Ross Hornby.
There's a Chris Trout, quite a famous
There's
Chris
a lot
Trout.
of Trouts out there, yeah.
Which did you choose over Trout and Trot as a last name?
Trot.
Yeah,
Trout
I think
is feels worse.
Yeah.
Trout,
Doesn't it?
of course, yeah.
Feels
Canadian
worse.
lawyer.
Canadian lawyer. Yeah, I
Ross
didn't know
Hornby
if
is a
that was
Canadian
a.
lawyer, public servant, and diplomat. Who
I
was
don't know if that was a Chris Trott or a Ross Hornby. I think there is another diplomat that's Chris Trott as well.
Oh, let's have a little look. See,
That's-
this is odd that we're
he's
just
Canadian.
Chris Trott, also Canadian.
think-
Gov, yeah, here we go. Gov.uk.
Oh, no, he's in the UK.
Became
in
the
the
British
UK.
ambassador to
Look at
the
that
Holy
guy.
See in September 2021.
He kind of looks like that meme. You know, the old guy that's got like the
Can't
awkward
show you.
smile. That's like
Yeah, he
pained.
does
The
look
pained
like-
smile.
Is he sipping tea, or is that?
He's done a lot of like Shutterstock imagery.
It's that grimace. It's like he's holding a grimaced smile. But yeah, that's similar. Similar to it. Trott's just doing an impression there, but yeah.
Yeah, I'm doing an impression. Sorry
I
about
can't
that.
show you the images today. Yeah, again, it's a very loose, basic setup. If you're watching this on our YouTube,
It looks
or live.
professional, but we did set up very quickly.
Yeah.
So it will be refined as we go.
But that's
I'm just
the- our
happy it's
names.
working. Yeah, it looks like Harold. Harold's the meme. Go
Should I
look that
Google
up.
Alex Smith while we're at it? I mean,
Oh,
we've done
the
a
most
God
famous
damn.
Alex Smith is a quarterback.
Okay.
Yeah,
so
that's the most popular Alex Smith. Sorry, Alex Smith.
I know.
Born in 1984, a former American football quarterback.
Yep.
Yeah. There's Alex Smith estate agents in Hodge Hill
Nice.
with the alexsmith.co.uk.
Is that what they've got?
Yeah.
Oh, those bastards.
Holy crap.
Then there's Alex Smith from Alex Smith Books, who's someone completely different as well. I mean, I'm sure we could go on, but there you are. You're on. You're on the front page.
The front page
You are
of
top.
Google,
Your Twitter comes
which
up,
is nice.
so that's good. So all I have to do is
My
scroll
Twitter.
down once, twice.
Fancy a bit of doom and gloom?
Oh, I don't know.
Check out my tweets.
So why?
It's a mixture of hopeful political radicalism and doomerism. But I'm trying to change my
Oh,
ways.
right, yeah, I
That's
see.
quite a mix.
But there's tweets
Bit
about
of
booty
D&D.
here.
There is
and
a
then
bit of
obviously
D&D.
just the energy crisis.
And then
Can I
which
get
is-
£50 credit, please? Someone,
Yeah, right.
please get
£50.
referred.
please use my fucking octopus link.
£50.
That
Yeah,
went
really.
really well
Drop
with
in the
Bulb
ocean.
before. I mean, with Bulb, like pretty much my followers on Twitter like paved my energy for a year. So,
What the fuck?
Yeah.
I just don't.
I need to do that.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah.
Holy crap.
Well, sometimes I think about it when it comes to like delivery and stuff. You're like, oh, we can refer to people. And you're like, should I do that?
Those aren't worth it. Those aren't worth it
No.
because like it used to be worth it, but now it's like you get £2.50 off per order, and you're just like it's not worth the shill. But with that, you get 50 quid. Check out my
Then they
Twitter.
have to switch energy.
I'm literally
provider.
plugging it. Yeah, they do.
That's quite
And
a big
also,
deal.
like,
That's not like a. Quick,
I wouldn't bother. I wouldn't go out. You two go out and do this after this because
because
obviously.
you've got
already
the
taken
problem.
First of all, I've hoovered up anyone who's interested. Second of all, I've only had in the last one on the Bulb one, I had like literally 10, 15 people do it.
Wow.
This one's like one person's done it. So
No one wants
Yeah.
to switch
Well,
providers.
No, right now,
what's-
'cause
that's
they're locked
50
in.
quid.
yeah,
A drop in the ocean now.
yeah, exactly.
What's that, 1%?
That's 2 days of energy. I
Yeah,
think.
right. Jesus fucking Christ.
Anyway, I'm sure people listening know all about the energy crisis.
We don't need to talk about crisis, do we?
Crisis
Crisis
alert.
alert.
What's happening today? We've had our thing. Did we tell them who the Fingal was
oh
by?
yeah, it was no Teddy.
Yes. No Teddy, thank you very much for the Fingal. There will be the longer version at the end, of course. So thank you very much for that.
Spoiler alert: we didn't hear it
No.
because we haven't got that set up yet. But
I
I'm
very
sure
much
it's really
heard
good.
it.
Was it good?
Yes.
How would you? Can you do an impression of what it sounds like to us?
It's kind of like chill and funky.
Dun, 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 dun. Is
No,
it
it's not
similar
like
to-
that at all. It's
Oh,
like
is it
it's a
not?
guitar and it's nice. It's well produced. No Teddy, you've got a long career ahead of you.
Oh shit!
Mm.
Nice,
You're going to get signed and you're going to go platinum.
nice
Nice.
one, no Teddy.
Thank you very much.
This
for
is
that.
your launching pad. Don't forget that Hat
Episode
Films.
107.
There's so many people out there that watched us that are now way more popular than us that have forgotten about
Wow, that's happened
where
a
they
lot
came from.
recently. Yeah.
So once you get an excess of money, could you reinvest
Don't forget.
back into your roots, please?
Don't be fooled by the rocks that you got. Hat Films still want a little bit
Hat Films still in this tiny block.
of that rock.
Of a
Yeah.
Hat
rock.
Films still in a tiny, and we want a bit of a rock.
Give us.
I
have a
don't know
little-
if there's anything we can address right now, but apparently the stream is a little bit jittery.
Oh.
No.
But no, that's fine. The audio is still fine, and that's what's good right now. Cool. Well, thank you very much for that, Fingal. Anything else we need to tell people before
There's
we?
no other specific alerts or alarms. Just stay safe and cool.
Okay.
That's
Yeah.
the initial
Get
things.
through this heat wave.
You got
It's
some
tough.
cheeky little hypotheticals, haven't you?
Yes.
Well, we found them just.
Well, Googled
before.
some just before we started. Yeah.
Yeah, we didn't send the patrons out again. Setting this all up, it's consumed us.
Next week should be a little.
Oh, next
Easier.
week's not happening, is it?
Yeah, it's going to be so easy because
It's
it's
gonna
not
be so
happening.
easy because
Yeah.
we're having a week away.
Yeah.
We're-
So yeah, no booty.
Smith's
You've got to
Smith's
really enjoy this one.
Really
the
get the
most of
most
this
out of it.
Yeah.
Really
I don't think we can
squeeze.
certainly iron out any issues if we need to.
Yeah.
Let's make this one a real good one then.
Let's
Let's kick off
go
with a
out.
real good hypothetical
Yes.
that you just Googled
Yeah.
before this one. Okay.
Remember that transition
We haven't,
sound?
done that, we haven't done those in like a
No.
long time.
Yes.
We
Um,
can add our own sound effects.
If you want. Do you want to do that? Oh, what you mean? Literally
The same
add
one.
now, right?
That's
Yeah.
what you just did. Yeah.
nice frog
Hypothetical.
Okay.
I mean, Ross, have you got them written down there? What's the first one?
It's your country. Do you want to read it?
Oh yeah, this is a good one. So your country is carving an equivalent of Mount Rushmore. What four people do you put up on that mountainside? So which
Oh.
Mount Rushmore in the US has got the founding fathers or some of the founding fathers of America in
Yeah.
it. For us, who would you put? You know, it could
Did
be
they-
political, cultural. It can be scientific.
How did they come up with the decision for that in the first place? As in, like, was it voted for?
I
Was it
think
like-
it's to do. I think it's probably George Washington, Alexander Hamilton, maybe Thomas Jefferson.
It's the founding fathers.
Yeah, but then like it's hard.
dads.
Like, how do you decide the founding fathers? Maybe that is an official.
The four
thing.
daddies of America.
4 dads. Everyone in America can be linked to these 4 men.
I'm guessing we put men up there, not women,
Well,
right?
well, I'm glad you said it, Christopher. Yeah, of course.
Just easier to chisel.
It's founding father, not founding mother.
God.
No, you can put
And it
up whoever
alliterates.
you like. Any ideas? You want me to start?
Yeah. I've got one.
Go on.
Should we do a round robin?
Yeah, let's do
Until we
like
get
1
4?
each. Yeah.
Stephen Hawking.
Okay, cool. Yep, I like that.
Stephen Hawking could be. Yeah, that's a good one. That is a really good one. Oh man.
Would you put the wheelchair in or not?
I think
I
you
don't
only have
know.
the head.
Because it's a part of
You
him.
only have the head though.
Yeah, I think we should have a
whole
hyper-realistic
bod.
Stephen Hawking emerging from a rock.
So like a moving rock. We
No,
could use a
he's
waterfall to like make the rocks move.
Right.
Okay.
I mean, you could just have him like before his illness.
That's really early.
It is quite a long time
Young-
ago.
Seen Theory of
Stephen
Everything.
Hawking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like while he was at uni.
Why don't we just get
Yeah.
Eddie Redmayne instead?
Let's just put Eddie Redmayne up
Put
there.
Eddie Redmayne in there.
Close
Few-
enough.
He's got.
Yeah.
He had
Few
the look.
birds, one stone.
Right, so Eddie Redmayne's off
Okay,
first.
Eddie Redmayne's up there.
Number
right.
one.
Because he can play all
Steve-
sorts.
As Stephen Hawking.
Yeah.
Of course.
Don't discount that part.
Yep.
Seems offensive.
Who else? Christian Bale as all of the maybe a melding of all his various characters. So
Right.
Batman's in there. Cheney.
What a weird
else?
face combination that would be.
And then his own face, of course, is in there slightly.
Yeah.
Maybe the one where he's emaciated in Machinist.
Yeah.
Would you put an actor on our version of?
Well, we've put 2
just
up there
put
already.
We've put Eddie Redmayne.
Yeah,
up.
but he's representing. Hawking.
Oh, as in, would you put an actor up there?
Yeah.
I don't think so. No.
They spend their lives lying.
That's it. They're liars.
Which you could argue is exactly what a
Lying
president does.
pieces
So.
of
Well, yeah. I mean, politicians. It is a funny one.
People who made big changes, I think that's the important thing, isn't it? People who made real changes.
Hawkers,
to fight
definitely.
For people. Hawkers is a big
Big
one.
H.
Yeah, I like it. I
Eddie
think it's a
Redmayne
good
led to
suggestion.
Hawkers, of course.
What about? I don't know if Christopher Columbus should be in there.
No, I mean,
I wouldn't have
Christopher
thought-
Columbus isn't even really close to our hearts. What makes you think of Christopher Columbus?
Yeah.
Because he's just a. What about Henry VIII then?
Not Henry VIII either.
Why not?
What did he do?
He's an important figure in our
He-
history.
well,
How far back
important
do
in
we
what
go
sense?
as well? Like,
As
lot
far
of
back as
wives.
you can think of.
because
lot
obviously,
of wives.
if royalty was
Lot of
there's
wives.
so much royalty. I mean, would you put the Queen on there?
No.
I would put the Queen on there instead of Henry VIII.
Well, yeah, that might be a more sensible decision, Chuck, considering you lived during her rule and not.
So
Well,
someone who is in modern history, then.
okay, modern
So,
history
like-
that means something to us.
What about someone who's alive within our lifetime? So you can't have like Einstein.
Oh
or
shit! Okay. Well, Stephen Hawking is a good one.
Stephen Hawking
Stephen
was
Fry.
it?
I'd
Stephen
have
Fry.
all Stevens.
Stephen Fry.
So you got Hawking, Fry, what are other Stevens? Gately?
Stephen Gately.
You all get Gators up there, don't you?
Did he
Steve
die?
Merchant.
Think so.
He died.
And Stephen
Stephen
Merchant.
Merchant.
That's it. That's your
four.
That's your
Your
four.
the four Stevens of the Cliffs of Dover.
Of the apocalypse, yeah. As
Where
you-
would we carve them?
as
The
you,
Cliffs of
yeah,
Dover?
Cliffs of Dover, definitely. Because
Perfect.
as the boats are coming across, they see.
It's Gately. There he
Oh
is.
my God, there he
That's
is.
the prominent
Gately,
face
it's
of
really-
Stephen Gately.
He really
Yeah.
sticks out.
And Stephen Merchant, there he is.
Steve Merchant,
Wow,
Stephen
really,
Fry.
really chiseled in his eyes.
Have you got any suggestions? Who would be
trying
up
to
there
think
next to the
of-
four Stevens?
Four Stevens.
Oh,
He's
yeah.
made a big impact.
Some really good ones.
I mean, David Attenborough.
Attenborough, of course.
Yeah.
Well, for us, at least. I mean, I'm
That's a
not
good
saying
point.
necessarily.
He's
Because
still,
obviously you've got all of the producers and people that made all those nature
The
Do
documentaries.
they
amount
have
of-
to be British as well? I mean, is
Yes.
that what we're
I think so.
trying to-
Yeah,
They're
this is our
representing our-
country's for like
Okay.
thing. I am a little bit ashamed of how many more men I know that are successful than women.
Well, let's
As
get the
in,
big
like,
one
I'm
out
trying
of
to
the way
think. Gone who?
J.K. Rowling.
You want Jakers up there?
Jakers.
Yeah, yeah.
What do you think?
No,
And we put-
I don't want her up there.
JK.
I love Harry Potter, but that doesn't mean I necessarily
I'd
love the
rather,
author.
I'd rather like Hermione from Harry Potter be up there as a representation of the
Would
fictional
it be the book
story.
version or the Emma Stone version?
Emma Watson.
Emma Stone
Emma Stone
is an American.
An actress still. I would say J.K. Rowling, but played by Emma Watson. Okay,
That'd be confusing. I think people would be like,
that's Emma Watson.
"There's Emma Watson,"
Would you
With
put-
glasses on and strawberry blonde hair.
and strong feelings about
And
feminism.
Yeah.
Would you
But
put?
maybe they just put AstroTurf all over her face as a representation.
Tough, nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
I'm struggling to think of people that.
Well,
aren't
somebody
called
said
Stephen.
Now just
somebody
like-
in chat said Neil Buchanan because it could be like a giant
Oh,
art
no way.
attack. Couldn't
This
it?
is an art attack.
Yeah, yeah.
His
But it's
last
made
art
from
attack.
His last one.
mattresses and duvets.
Stuff that's washed, all the plastic that's washed up on the beach beneath the cliff.
Ah.
And
Do
then
you know
could
what? I
build
think it should all be constructed from
Plastics.
ocean plastic.
Ocean waste.
There's so
Plastic.
much you could build. We should build a tower. We should go out. We should do this.
go out to
We'll
the
hire
Pacific patch.
a large vessel, scrape up as much as we can, and then get ourselves some super glue and build a tower as big as possible out. of
Instantly, the
plastic.
use of super glue undoes
No.
scraping
we'll use
the ocean for
bone.
how much
melted
super glue are
down
we going
horse
to?
bones.
Yeah. Why don't we just
paste.
fuse the plastic together with heat?
That's a good idea. We could do that.
But then it's like heat energy. But I guess we
Yeah.
got solar-powered heat guns.
Princess Di?
Princess Diana.
Yes, she did. It's a shame. What happened
Fuck's
in that
sake.
tunnel? That's why I don't like driving around France.
Because
of that alone.
You get flashbacks.
Flashbacks. No tunnels. No, that was a devastating moment. We all remember it. We were there in our minds.
Jane Austen's a good shout.
Jane Austen, sure. What she
Prolific
look like?
writer.
How would you describe what she looks
I
like?
think we'd just put a book.
Just a book.
Just
a book
like
that
Pride and Prejudice.
pushes out of
Yeah.
the side of a hill. Fuck that. That sounds really odd.
I don't know what she looks like.
It's just a giant ad for one of her books.
There was obviously the Boudica would be an interesting one.
Boudica.
Boudica was part of the native tribes of England, and they turned back the Roman. Well, they didn't entirely turn back, but they had a big hand in turning back the Roman colonization of England.
Well, that's important. But what about Spice Girls?
Well, we
Ooh.
could get at least one of them up there, but which one?
Ah.
The leader, obviously,
Which one was the leader? Scary?
Emma Bunton.
Emma Bunton was not the leader. Emma Bunton was definitely she was baby Spice. They belittled her.
Baby Spice.
She's an infant
Yeah,
Spice.
but behind the scenes, she was a tyrant.
Infantilize
It is
her.
a bit weird, isn't it,
Bit
Ross?
odd.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and still sort of
'Cause there
sexualize
she
someone.
would have the pigtails and then like a
Yeah.
lollipop and it. Oh,
Yeah, yeah.
And like that's odd.
It's a bit
Yeah.
problematic, isn't it? Yeah, I
It can't be Jerry.
It can't be Jerry.
why not?
She's not a leader.
She was my favorite.
She was my
She
favorite
was my
back
favourite,
in the
but-
day when I was a horny teen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But she wasn't that good a singer compared to the others.
Oh,
Jerry, oh come on, she's no
Beckham
Victoria Beckham.
Victoria
She was just
Beckham was
god awful.
pretty
Victoria
terrible.
was pretty bad. Agreed.
That she had that one
Um,
song with Dane Bowers. Was it?
Yeah, what was that called?
Something about keep your light on. I can't remember.
Keep your light on.
It was some like dance track, wasn't it?
Okay, so I'm gonna throw a few more out there. So I really like Stephen Hawking. I think he'd make it.
Stephen
in my,
Hawking's
in my
already
rock, in my cliff.
He's in the rock.
I think that's pretty cool. I think that anyone that kind of
Struggling to.
progressing society. David Attenborough was great for us because obviously he has shown everyone the natural world. Obviously, it's not just him. There are
natural
a
world
huge
that's
amount of people
dying.
Yeah,
Losing its species.
yeah.
It makes that very, very abundantly clear in all the latest documentaries. Like, this is life as we know it now, and it's not going to be the same next year.
He's making it very
We're
clear.
killing life.
I think for me, a musician would probably make it in. It would be very, very hard to
There's a
tell
lot
which
of-
one. I mean, obviously, recently, people like
Ozzy
David
Osbourne.
Bowie and people like that would have been interesting. Ozzy Osbourne.
you know
Dave
what?
Bowie would be good, but yeah.
Black Sabbath were pretty
Yeah, they were great.
instrumental.
Yeah, yeah. So many good tracks as well, and
Led
not just
Zeppelin.
metal. Yeah, exactly. Led Zeppelin,
Shit.
Pink Floyd as well. Even though one of their guys is a total nutcase these days.
Really?
Yeah.
What about Phil Collins
Yeah, yeah.
Phil could go up there.
There's some
with drum kit?
yeah. Kate Bush
Kate Bush. Of
Kate
course.
Bush.
would have been a good
But
one.
just the bush.
Just the bush, no Kate.
No,
just
Kate. Just bush.
But that's fine because that's the bit
But
of the,
made out of bushes.
Yeah,
Her
you-
face is
you-
made out of bushes.
you wouldn't need to maintain that area. You could
So
just
it's
let it
like-
grow wild.
Yeah.
Rewilding Kate
That's
Bush's
the
face.
Kate Bush.
Yeah,
Yeah, don't touch that. That's Kate Bush.
yeah. Yeah, there's lots. I mean, Freddie Mercury.
Yeah, it's a
I
lot
don't like
easier to
this.
come up with like musicians and celebrities, isn't
'Cause
it?
that's
Than
the ones
like
we know the most
actually
of, yeah.
people that have
Craig David.
helped society.
We do all the Craigs.
Whoa.
Craig Charles, Craig David, two more Craigs.
Charles.
Come on,
Craig Charles was up there.
Craig
Craig
Charles.
Frost.
What would Craig Frost, of course.
Oh.
Who gets to vote on this?
Just us.
We get to
Us.
pick.
The council of three.
Craig
We're a
Frost is.
triumvirate.
Craig Frost is up there next to Eddie Redmayne.
Next to Eddie Redmayne, you've got Craig Charles, Craig Frost, and
Steve Merchant.
and Stephen Merchant.
Adele.
Adele,
Adele, yeah.
again a modern one, but a good one. She's very
Just
talented.
musicians. We're going with musicians.
Ian McKellen. Come on, imagine a giant
Ian
relief
McKellen,
of Ian
Patrick
McKellen's
Stewart.
Yeah, bookending the two.
Bookending.
Yeah, Ian McKellen, Patrick Stewart.
And obviously we'd
bookending it.
have Captain Picard and Gandalf.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah, they'd be. Well, you could dress them up. This would be the fun. So you could have seasonal like events where
Yeah.
you dress the mountain up as different
How long
things.
did it take to make Mount Rushmore?
A long time.
Oh, it'd be quicker
It was
nowadays.
done like quite a while ago. It'd be quicker nowadays, definitely.
Mount
They have
Rushmore.
rudimentary tools. Now we've got 3D printing.
Yeah.
That's true.
Can we
And
3D
also-
print stone?
But how much do you think something like that costs? So it was created 4th of October 1927 to
Ross, the council have
1931.
approved it. They said there's no budget.
Charles Darwin's
There's
a pretty good
no
shout.
budget, which means you can't make
Charles
anything.
Darwin.
Charles Darwin, the greatest natural scientist of ever. You know,
Yeah.
and you've got Stephen Hawking, one of the greatest physical scientists ever. They'd
Yeah.
be pretty good ones. You know,
Yeah.
they'd be good ones.
We've got some smart people.
We've had them along the way. I mean, obviously other countries have too, but those are our smart ones. And then of course Carol Vorderman.
Carol Vorderman, of course. Borders.
Carol Vorderman would be
yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
How long did Rushmore take to build, and when was it built?
So it says here between 1927 and 1941.
Wow.
Took 400 workers. It's 60 foot high.
Could have been bigger.
It's not actually that big, is it?
Yeah.
Well, it seems like they built it and then kind of like pushed it into place.
It was also a precious Native American site
Oh fuck! Really?
that they just
Oh shit!
butchered. So that's cool.
Oh, was it actually?
Yeah.
It's a sacred area.
I mean, I guess a lot of America is probably sacred to their native population.
Yeah, we got to put 4 faces up there though.
Whose
Yeah.
idea do you think it was?
Huh?
Like, as it went in process here, but
Was it like a government?
to just
initiative?
go, hey, let's just put let's put presidents' faces in the wall. Let's just do it.
Some
oh, okay.
Johnny Vegas.
Johnny Vegas.
Monkey.
What about Mr. Bean?
Yeah.
To be honest, there is actually,
He is
considering all the
great.
Blackadder stuff.
Yeah.
Like,
I was watching Blackadder the other night,
Oh.
and like the cast is insane.
They're
Like
so
it's
good.
got Stephen Fry, Hugh Laurie. You know, like just those two alone, you're like, oh my god. And then it has obviously
Who's Melchett? Who plays Melchett?
that's Stephen Fry, isn't it?
No. It's like his right-hand man.
Oh.
Melchett with the tash.
Yeah. Oh, you've got Rick Mail playing
Rick Mail.
Flash
Yeah.
Art.
Yeah.
One person suggested Matt Lucas, but I think the struggle there would be to get a smooth enough edge out of the stone.
I don't know. Maybe
you know,
I think that's probably easier to do.
You'd
to
have to
get that
buffer
et-
it yearly.
get an egg like shine.
get the egg shine.
Yeah.
Probably easier than you think.
Well, I think we put this one to bed.
We certainly.
We'll have to come back to it.
We'll have to
Have to really whittle it down.
What would we call it? Not Mount Rushmore. What would we call it?
It'd be easier if we stuck with the 4 Stevens idea, because then we could call it the 4 Stevens.
Before Stevens sounds poetic to a degree.
It's like 4 Seasons, but it's 4 Stevens.
Why don't we just?
My favorite kind of pizza.
Can we have like a sculpture that changes over time, or like maybe spinning ones, so that it's like changes?
different.
So
Like
then
it's got 4 heads.
like
Well, why
for
don't we
a
just make
period
it
of time,
do
it's 4.
inflatables instead then?
Let's do inflatable.
You want to do
Inflatables.
inflatables? Everyone loves
Let's just do
inflatables.
hot air balloons.
Yeah, that's
Giant-
happening this weekend in Bristol, by the way.
Yeah, I saw that
Say
they
Big
launched
Burn.
them today.
The Big Burn, that's what they're calling it.
The Big Burn.
Get some of that methane going.
Is it like?
In
I
a
don't-
heat wave.
I don't know much about hot air balloons, but like when it's really hot outside anyway.
Yep.
Does it make a difference?
Yep.
Yeah,
Like,
the air
as in, like-
density is
Yeah,
different,
yeah.
isn't it?
Are they safer or more? Would you fly in one?
Yeah.
You just got burned for more.
We went up in one, didn't we?
Yeah,
it
but
was
that
like
was
tethered
tethered,
to the
so
ground.
Tethered.
that's where you're not
Felt
free
safe.
balling. Whereas you're raw dogging life.
You're raw dog in
raw
life.
dogging
Yeah.
life. You've taken.
I
nature
do
off.
all sorts. I'd chuck myself out an airplane. I want to do that. I think I'm.
Yeah, but with the equipment.
Yeah, well, you're going up in a hot air balloon. That's an
I don't know,
equipment.
if you
piece of
land
equipment.
like with your fingers pointed like downwards into
Into
the water,
water?
you'll be fine.
Oh, you
Yeah.
break the water with your fingers.
Yeah, What's that?
No.
10,000 feet. What's the dropping point?
Depends.
Not that
Yeah,
high, is it?
no, about 10,000. Yeah, it depends on.
For
I think
surviving.
12,000 is the maximum you can go to if you're unqualified.
Yeah.
Then above that, it starts getting spicier and spicier.
So a horrible video of a guy getting tangled in his own.
I saw that
Did
as
you see
well.
that?
Yeah, the
Oh.
paraglider. That's actually the thing I want to
Horrifying.
do. The paragliding thing, not necessarily
Did that
just
video turn you
skydiving.
onto it? You're like, oh yes.
Because
Well,
of that video.
that looks horrifying.
Yeah.
So he did the thing you're meant to do. So some paragliders don't even like travel with
Well, you
them.
cut the
They-
ropes.
They have this parachute they chuck, right? So you carry like an emergency parachute that's unguided. You just throw it out. But the poor bastard, even that didn't deploy properly. So like,
Yeah.
yeah, he was
Wait,
lucky.
How did
to
that end? I don't
survive.
remember. I
No, he
kind of clicked
survived.
away because I didn't want to see the
He
landing.
survived. The emergency chute finally like opened up
Oh,
about
nice.
like literally about 20 feet above the air though. So
That's
pretty
shocking.
hard
bugger.
landing.
Yeah.
It was the equivalent of just jumping out of a second story window, that kind of landing.
Yeah. Have you seen the video of that person who successfully had a parachute, but they landed and like really abruptly onto their legs and kind of snapped one of them.
Oh, no, I don't watch that kind of stuff.
Whoa! It's like I thought they were just going to land nicely.
Yeah.
But they didn't land properly, and it's just like kind of like.
I mean, I've been
like,
quite lucky that I haven't injured myself doing mountain biking because
Yeah.
like it's just as dangerous really for your legs and stuff. You
Yeah.
just got to get unlucky. I mean, I guess that's it. But fingers crossed, I don't snap
Well,
my
don't
legs.
cross your fingers while riding a bike.
Oh, I can't hold on to the wheels. What, I'm trying to hold on to the wheels.
I can't push the brakes.
Kind
My
of.
crossed fingers.
Yeah,
All right, what other hypotheticals have we got? That was a really in-depth.
That was
I like that one.
Yeah.
It's
Breakdown,
interesting.
that was
And
a
then
really
it
good
made
one.
me realize, God, I really should learn like some more important people that aren't
Important
just
people.
like actors and musicians. But hey, don't judge us out
Yeah.
there. You come
It's
up
only
with your
'cause
own.
Politicians are so disappointing.
And celebrities
Oh,
are
yeah.
put on such a pedestal.
Yeah. Oh,
And
God,
But it's
yeah.
because they
They're
give you
more
so-
relatable.
They
than
provide you something that
politicians.
you enjoy, and like, yeah, when you
Yeah.
look at politicians and the shit that they do, even like even the good ones are still fucking liars and pieces of shit,
Is this why
and taking
Zelensky?
money and like other shit.
Zelensky's a great president.
That's a strong statement, but okay. he's been a good leader in a time of the Ukraine being
Like,
attacked.
he's
Yeah.
just globally recognized, like doing a good job
He's
Right.
yes.
in the current situation.
Yep. I yeah. In the interest of like balance, I'd say that like it's like saying Winston Churchill was a great prime minister. I think that the things that were achieved and the victories achieved
No, I look
were
at
great.
Reddit
Oh right.
and I've
Yeah.
got my very unbiased opinion.
Yep. No,
about him.
straight,
Anyway,
go ahead. Yeah. Go
do you
with
think
it.
his relatability helps because he was previously a celebrity?
Yes.
Yeah, I do,
and
yeah.
That's why
That-
he's
I think
revered
that's-
as much as he is.
Yeah, but I think that's all similar reasons why people like Ronald Reagan and fucking Donald Trump get put into power, because it's like he's that guy from that the TV. He's
Yeah.
the TV guy.
He was on
Charisma.
Oh my
WWF.
god! And then if you look at the work he did before or whatever, and they kind of like they enjoyed that. So yeah, they just kind of put him in this position. But then you see what the Donald Trump thing pulls out, just morons, because he's literally from reality TV. So
Yeah.
it's just like
I
yeah, you just get
propose
people who just
an
watch
idea,
that shit. Yeah, go on.
right?
Yeah.
We have the politicians do internal voting to like's currently happening with Liz Truss and totally forgotten his name. The other
Rishi
one,
Sunak.
yes,
Mhm.
Sunak and Truss. They've been voted as the next two leaders. That's
Yeah.
out of our hands. Sure, let's just assume that they know best and they put forward like 10 candidates. Like each party puts forward 5, say. So there's 10 in total.
Yeah.
If there's only 2 parties, but whatever. Then Big Brother.
Okay.
Or I'm a celebrity, get me out of here
Yeah,
events.
yeah.
where
So you want a
those
public phone in?
those politicians are put in and
Yeah.
we just deduct them by learning about them and
Yeah.
their personality and how they react and talk to each other and stuff.
Put them in
and
real.
put them in
I
real
think,
scenarios.
To be honest, like having a window into what they do in Parliament in general seems like the most transparent way to see what the people you've put in power are doing.
Exactly.
And that would be. I mean, I think things are moving towards something like that.
That's
think
well,
it
I
should-
mean, that's the word. Like, not to get too into politics, but like what you've asked for and then what you've said is exactly it. It's about transparency and about having a closer link as possible from a public choice to an elected official. And yeah, absolutely. Like one day, I think a lot of people talk, and this is something I've spoken about before, is like peer-to-peer democracy, right? The one where like your vote
That's torrenting,
or your
isn't it?
yeah, it's torrent, yeah, it's
something like
LimeWire,
that,
yeah. your democratic choice is as close to the reality of the candidate as possible, and yeah, hopefully that will be a thing. I don't know whether chucking it into a Big Brother format is necessarily.
Or
And that's
Wipeout.
Endemol.
Doesn't have to be.
Yeah, because obviously
Could be
there's an
Wipeout.
entertainment element there.
Could
but
be a
like,
wipeout thing. Could be a
It'd be
physical
fun
challenge.
to watch.
Yeah, yeah.
But then obviously you've seen there are like politicians who've been in I'm a Celebrity and stuff.
yeah.
Like Nadine Dorries was in that. Do you know that?
Well, that's the thing. Like,
Yeah.
I think,
And
I
it's
think
just like that's, if anything,
being in
cheapens
something makes
their
you more
look a little bit.
relatable. So I think it works in their best interest to do stuff like that.
Yeah.
Well,
It depends what
well
it is,
that's the
'cause-
thing though, because some of them don't want to be too transparent or too close to choice. Like I was saying, like the Conservative members had a completely different. There was a survey done of Conservative members in the UK, and they ranked their best next candidate, and all those candidates in the top of their choices are no longer in the running, and so it's almost in some of their favour to not. You know, as in they just need to get the right people within their party to like them. The reality is, I think, but yeah, it would be nice, you know,
Hunger
real
Games, then,
Hunger
direct
Games, the
vote.
Hunger Games strongest survives.
or Squid Game.
But a Hunger Games where it's just a thrown like political like challenges.
Yeah.
So you got to deal with this really quickly. Oh, someone's about to fire a nuke. You got to figure out
It's
how to.
those mega games,
stabilize
those
things.
strategic mega games where everyone turns up and there's like fake crisis and they have to work together.
And this is why LARP is so interesting. LARP is like watching as a human exercise. That's one of the biggest thrills I get out of it. Is like 3,000 people is a small sample size, sure, but you get to watch how all these different human beings that are of course playing characters, but they're still having to make choices and still exist within a functioning system of society. And it is really interesting to see that reflection of human beings and like human nature within a controlled,
given a different environment.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
a standing
without the same constraints. Because the problem is with like our democracy and shit is like we have all of these ridiculously like archaic processes and principles that need to be changed over time, and like it just moves so slowly that who knows.
I think I found the best format.
What?
We have a pre-existing LARP that has an economy and it has hierarchy.
Earth 2.0.
Well established. No, full fantasy.
It's
with
full
orcs.
fantasy. Right, everyone has to wear full prosthetics.
Yeah, and it's been running for years, so it could be Empire LARP.
Right, okay.
There's already a queen or king and people you look up to. All the politicians have to join this LARP and be full-blown peasants.
Right, okay.
And make their way
through.
through and live like a peasant.
Yeah.
Like
Well, or they could do that reality shit that's already on Channel 5, which is where they like Rich House, Poor House.
I haven't seen this.
Where they literally just swap houses. And then obviously you have the rich people going, oh, I can't believe they live like this. And the poor people going, oh, look how they live. Like, put these fucking rich asshole politicians in a shit situation where they've got to deal with, oh, this is how much money I make every month. And then
at the end of the
relatability
season,
and go, fuck, I can actually either help these people or crush them further down, which is what they're currently doing.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I'd love it at the end of that season, they then go, actually, no, this is now your life. That's the real kicker. They're like, oh, I really can't wait to get back to my nice house. And they're like, actually,
you're not going back.
The deeds were swamped.
You're not going back. And then the penny really drops.
Yeah, and that's season 2.
But I think because those guys need a reality check.
Yeah, I mean we all do. You can't help. You can't help.
Of course, but like
not defending
people who
them.
are like what did Boris called $250,000 a year for chicken feed?
Yeah, I know.
That's fucked up.
Yeah,
that's fucking insane to call that chicken feed on a public platform.
Yeah, of course.
So
like it's incredibly
that
privileged.
Kind of thing where it's like, that's ridiculous to kind of
everyone
talk
has
about
to go through the same LARP at some point,
and they all have to be. I mean, isn't that interesting, Chris? You're coming up with these ideas, and
but they need
they're
to be
fundamentally
mandatory.
massive. I mean, what you're saying is that every person should be born into the same circumstances. What you're thinking of is a perfect You're thinking of a perfect meritocracy.
No, I'm not thinking that.
Yeah,
because that is fundamentally changing everyone's upbringing and stuff.
But you're saying that they should start as a peasant and have to work their way up through the system.
But specifically at one part in their life, not their entire life is entered into a LARP. Right. I'm saying at some point, everyone, doesn't matter what your background is or where you currently are in life, at a certain point, you have to enter this LARP like everybody else.
Yeah.
And then reflect upon where you currently are.
Oh, I see. So it's almost like a self-examination.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Not like everyone upheaves their entire life and has to funnel through this thing.
Like military service, but it's like peasant. Yeah, it's like peasant service.
Like Israel, where everyone's forced to be in the military for X amount of time.
Lots of countries do it, not just Israel. I mean, places like Denmark do it as well.
You have to do service, and that's probably grounds people quite heavily, right?
Yeah,
to have to do something. So
I don't think it's necessary. I mean, there's exceptions. Like plenty of people don't do it because they go to university, for example.
Right.
Is it Malaysia or Thailand when we learned when we were out there?
The monk thing.
Yeah. But it's not just that. There's like a few options that you have to like give back to your country.
Yeah.
At a certain point in your life, it's like either become a monk. And work at the temples, like doing menial labor and stuff like that, washing the floors and things, or you go into do military service for a while.
Yeah,
that just sounds. I know it sucks for kids that I don't want to do that, but then again, it's formative, isn't it?
I think that there's definitely some benefits to it. I could see it being beneficial to people. It depends on what you're asking them to do. I think obviously military service. There is also. I was listening to a really interesting podcast about I think it's called Analysis or something like that. I think it's a BBC podcast, and they were talking about nationalism. Can nationalism ever be a force for good? You know, the idea of like the national identity. It's essentially a form of tribalism, but like they're talking about how can it be a force for good. And one of the examples is obviously Ukraine recently. So one of the big reasons that Ukraine's been able to resist so much is their national spirit. Essentially, you know, they're people that really believe in what they're fighting for. And that's been a big boon to the defense of Ukraine. And I don't know. It's like military service for me. I think that having never done it, but I've done sort of, nothing the same. I'm not going to say this is the same, but things like doing the Duke of Edinburgh Award, at the time, I didn't really want to do it. I was like some teenage kid, and I was just like, go on a 25-mile walk and like go and study the police and like do a bit of charity work. I'm just, oh God, I don't know if I can be bothered to do this. But now, 15, 20 years later, I'm like, oh no, that was actually really good, and I learned some really useful things, and it makes you a bit more of an informed participant in your country. Not necessarily Duke of Edinburgh, but there are national incentives to do that kind of thing, and then national reasons to
do it. If you had to do military service now, what would you do?
If I had to do military service now,
what role would you try and...
Air Force, baby.
You go Air Force.
100%.
Paratrooper.
You'd be a paratrooper.
Sniper.
I don't.
Long range sniper.
So Ross wants to be able to see the faces of the people he's killing. Trott,
but from far away.
I'm removed to a point where I can just literally just take off the glass.
Yeah. You have to. So you have to lay in really uncomfortable positions for days at times, shitting into a bag next to the guy next to you. Yeah. Okay. Trott, you want to be a paratrooper?
Think about Bond.
I don't want to skydive.
Well, you can't be a paratrooper.
I'm scared of skydiving.
I'm scared of heights, but I want to be a para. Yeah. Also, the paratroopers in the UK, I mean, it depends on how you quantify it, but the paras, like 1 para and 2 para in the UK, are like literally like the nutcase, like special forces attachment.
Yeah, my PT was one.
Yeah. No, he was in the Air Force Regiment.
That's right. Yeah.
Which is quite different to paras. The regiment defends like air bases and stuff like that, whilst the paras are like...
All right, I'll be SAS.
Okay, all right. Just the SAS, yeah. I hope you like to blood in. I know we've seen the news recently.
No, I don't know.
Anyway, have we got one more?
There's no more hypotheticals, but we were talking about, just before we were talking about AI art.
AI.
Which we said we'd save it for the podcast because it's quite an interesting
shift. But
it is quite a shift. It's not political, it's just...
So this all came from... I mean, AI art's been around for a while. If you don't know what that means, it's artificial intelligence, neural network, essentially. You give it an input, and it spits out an output based on collecting a ton of data and making some approximations and stuff. So, for example, on the way back from our little trip to an event, Harry told me about Midjourney, which is a Discord-based bot where you literally just type /imagine and then a word, multiple words, a sentence, like I want to have a female in plate armor in a forest, midday sun and blue colors,
in the style of Quentin Blake.
Style of Van Gogh or Quentin Blake,
just an artist,
and it will spit out 4 images of something. Sometimes it does a very good job, sometimes it does like that was not really what I was asking for. They always look good.
Yeah,
doesn't matter. They either look unnervingly weird or they're pretty cool, and the images are uncannily good, like masterpiece level.
Yeah.
And then you can upscale them and say like, I want this one, but give me variants of that one, please. And it's nuts. And it just like the implication instantly of us doing this is like, well, artists that get commissioned to do this kind of work, can they compete with an AI bot that just gets better and better?
If you've never seen it before, you should look it up, because honestly, the stuff it creates is so impressive, like style-wise, like that stuff where you got that like blueprint sketch work,
like
which is
like
really
concept
intricate,
art
like
style, technical drawings.
It's amazing.
It's total jargon. Like it doesn't create like a spaceship that's like aerodynamic and flyable. It creates like a weird look of a spaceship with like things bulging out of it and stuff, but it from a distance, it'd be like, yep, that's good enough for like a piece of art that goes in a game as a poster.
It's interesting, isn't it? That like what I find really interesting about it is like, you know how you're saying like from a distance that looks right.
Yeah.
And it represents how the thing itself is creating it, in that like it's using like as it's like the resolution of
increases
the data
and more data goes
exactly
in,
and the resolution of how it thinks improves, the resolution of the end result, the physical picture itself will make more sense. But because you can look, like with all things that are low resolution, if you look from them further away, they're more acceptable to the eye, right? Because you're like, oh yeah, no, that looks about right, and then you get in, you like details, you're like, oh no, wait, I can see this is a bit weird. But I love that.
I find it fascinating.
Because
it's almost like the way that works is almost like the way the brain works. Like the resolution and clarity, the more you think about it, the more knowledge you have and neurons you got connected to a thing, the higher resolution you're going to get. It's very cool. You can also watch the image go from like a couple of blurry colors and
stages,
and then it doesn't it doesn't have all the detail there to begin with. It's like I asked for a person and they didn't put the person in until like the last 10%.
Yeah.
It's like they were doing all the background stuff. It was super interesting. I'd love to see like a developer interview, like how it works and stuff.
That's where it's at now as well. This is the thing, like we were saying,
Yeah.
like the struggle it must be for like an artist seeing that, 'cause obviously like there's some incredible stuff on there, and obviously someone's just had to type in a sentence of descriptive words, and you've created this masterpiece effectively that can be used for any application.
It can do what looks like 3D renders of things.
So I think that's that's quite interesting actually. Is I was just thinking, like, we're talking about artists and whether or not it necessarily negatively impacts artists. I think that, first of all, it's not going to replace bespoke art.
No, of course not.
When you need so the example of this is we're using it in our D&D show at the moment, and we've been coming up with some background images and quick sample images and things like that for particular scenes. But I've also been working with an artist who has done all the character art for our show, and it's amazing and bespoke. And like, for example, they made each of the characters, which are different races. So there's like a hobgoblin, a turtle, and a triton within D&D, which are all different looking. Like, one's a fish person, one's a turtle person, one's like a goblin person. And the artist Casper, he's managed to make it look like all three of you, like actually physically look like your face, which this bot is so far from being able to do. And that's great. But what is interesting is, whilst landscape artists and things like that, things that take a long time to make, may indeed be at risk from AI like this, because it is great at doing landscapes. It's great for artists who aren't necessarily painters or it's because artists are also writers, you know, like literally you can use it as one of the greatest inspiration and prompt systems for writing. So say like I've been writing like, oh, there's this scene coming up where the guys go into here, and it's like, oh, I want to put my mind in a place of like a tropical island, or like what would a pirate bar kind of look like, and you type in some search terms, it'll render out something, and then that will be there on my second screen, and it'll act as like a placeholder for my thoughts, if you know what I mean, as in it keeps it there. It's like a mood board, right?
Well, it's just an inspirational, conceptual design, isn't it?
It's like searching on Pinterest and getting a billion images, and then those billion images are put into one image. There's like a theme. It's really cool.
It's just so impressive, like the styles and stuff it comes up with, and just the detail. It's unreal. But
environmental and organic, natural looking stuff, where if you don't look too closely, it does that so well. Bodies and limbs and eyes.
And features, defining
the 3D
features.
models though, those styles, because I did like a 3D little humanoid mushroom character, and it's just like, it looked like 3D rendered. It was amazing. It's just,
I don't think we found
it's
the
so
limit
addictive as well. Like, if you get a chance, this one's called Midjourney.
This one's Midjourney, and it works through Discord. There are a bunch of others.
There's DALL-E, which is like in
is that accessible now?
It's accessible in like, there's two versions of it. There's one that's like not available to the public, and then there's one that's like a simplified version that you can use.
And it's also like it doesn't allow you to do like X-rated content. Or
no,
like
they've banned certain terms.
So it's
rightly
fairly
so.
safe. So it's fairly safe to use in that sense. But it's just it's crazy. And like I wasted an entire evening just rendering stuff constantly. I was just like, the stuff you get out of it is so amazing, and
so many wallpapers.
Like all the stuff for the D&D stuff was just so cool to come up with tentacles in the sky and this monster and stuff. It's like,
it's very Cthulhu-esque a lot of the time.
Like, I was messing around with some like search terms that I just wanted to see, like, I wonder what this would look like, you know, stuff like a pitcher plant mixed with a giant snail and things like that. And it was generating stuff that I then, like, I know that seed I showed you, that seed of life picture. That is something that got generated from me messing around with like seeds and earth and renewal and all these ideas. And then I went, this is an image of a thing that I can use in the campaign now. So it's like, this is an actual item, you know, wondrous item almost, and it's really great for D&D because of that nature of fluidity of like
it can create a new idea.
Exactly. And then you can just, because of D&D and how, you know, come up with whatever the hell you want, it works really great in that.
From a non-artist's career perspective, I can only see benefits from my personal usage of it. I can see that, like, holy shit, I used to do environmental art for commissions and stuff and thumbnails or whatever, or like D&D shows, and no longer have that work.
And the issue in that sense is, this is what it's like now.
Yeah.
Like in like 10 years time.
What if it
You
gets
think
really
how
good?
detailed it goes, how
Yeah.
more like precise your request becomes. That's the downside.
If it's a
but,
neural
like,
network, it only has existing art to use, though, right?
Sure,
So new
yeah.
art is needing to be fed into
So will it
it
just become
in
a
order-
blurry mess in that time?
All
Suddenly
artists will
everything
just be
becomes-
working for AI bots, is
Yeah.
what I'm saying. As in, like,
Well,
as an artist, you
yeah.
could sell your art to a bot network.
Yeah. And also, what about the kind of the crypto side of things, where people use this art as NFTs and stuff? Like,
yeah.
what value is there then? It's hard to say, because when you're like spaffing these things out, I kind of don't value it in the same way that I would value someone spending that time on it. If someone had spent time making that thing, you'd be, oh my god, that's incredible, you've done this by hand. But I don't know.
I think that's true.
I'm
though.
impressed by what it's made, but like
Yeah.
at the same time, I don't value it in the same
No.
way. So
That's
like
why
there is
there's
that
always
as well.
going to be
So
a market for
Yeah.
a person or a group
Yeah.
of people making a piece of art for
Yeah.
someone, because it's
yeah.
like there's a story there behind the individual.
And there's a physicality. Like, this is the same. I know NFTs may be used for other things. I don't still fully like grasp the full use of an NFT, but an NFT from the idea of a traditional art collection, where a person might buy a piece of art from an artist they found because they love it, and then in 50 years' time, that artist becomes incredibly popular, and they're like, because that's why a lot of people buy art from like Bristol galleries, right? So you go into a gallery, you'll pay £300 to £500 for a nice painting sometimes in galleries here, which for me, I haven't done. I don't buy much art, but some people do go, hey, first of all, I love this picture and I want it in my home. Second of all, they're like, this is really good, and I feel like maybe this person may become incredibly popular in some point, so they buy it as an investment. I don't think NFTs will ever be like that.
No.
I just don't think they will. I think that there's the art world, the art trading world has existed for a very, very long time, and physicality is incredibly important. There's so much of industry around proving a painting is real, legitimate, all those sort of things. NFTs completely apart from the whole like digital receipt.
Yeah.
That's why the idea of like a metaverse is laughable at the moment.
Yeah.
Because like it's stripping all of the sensory things that is valuable to a human. You sure it's got like the eyesight thing down and the audio, but like there's no tangibility to it.
Yeah.
It's lifeless,
Yeah.
essentially.
But
that's
then,
what AI is.
regardless of the
lifeless.
NFT element of it, like if someone posted an AI image and just said, "Oh, I made this," what stops you? How would you
If
verify
it's,
something like that? Or like,
indistinguishable from
yeah.
good art.
yeah, and it's just like,
Like,
well, I
if it
just did
looks-
this digital artwork, and it's like, there's no, how can you verify something like that? You couldn't.
Yeah.
Unless some people have to now film every action they take now to prove that they did that thing. I mean, what about like if you made a load of nice landscapes and stuff and then just stuck it on a board and then just painted over it and then just replicate it entirely? Like, what value is there in that?
Interesting
Is there less
questions.
value in that, or is it still impressive that you managed to replicate something like that, even though it was an inspiration, but you're basically
It's
tracing?
tough, isn't it?
Because this machine creates incredible stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And
I
we should
guess
do that. I
it's-
feel like that could be like an art challenge type thing where we
Yeah.
can try and replicate a piece that we've
Yeah.
rendered.
Yeah.
That'd be
Yeah.
quite cool.
That
Yeah.
would be cool.
Because again, like, it doesn't require us having to. The initial thought is sometimes the most impressive
Yeah.
part of what someone's created.
And holding the image like
Yeah.
in a cohesive way in
Yeah,
your
yeah.
mind before it's on the paper.
To be able to do that, because I'm shit with like scale and all that kind of
Mm.
thing. So like when it comes to actually putting stuff pen to paper,
Mm.
when you've actually got something already there,
I don't know how
you know,
it
so
does
it just
it.
does change the art world in the sense of it's a pretty big deal. I think
yeah.
it can be, or
Yeah.
we might see these stories come out where it's like, you know, so this famous artist has just been fucking rendering all this stuff on an AI generator.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Yeah. Who knows? I think that is
But yeah.
it. That is what's interesting about it. It's not obvious, I think, right now
Yeah,
as to
yeah.
what's going to happen with all of it. Whether it's going to be, I think that like all the best questions, there's a lot of philosophy behind this in terms of like the idea of property and ownership is quite a big deal. I think in
So I
general,
don't feel like I own it when I print. When
Yeah,
when they come out, I
exactly.
don't feel like I'm.
No, well,
I couldn't put my name to it and say I did this.
Yeah.
just 'cause I typed in like, you know, a
the
description.
bot did it.
I know. Yeah.
Essentially,
That's it.
all the work is like being done by the algorithm
Yeah.
that's done for you. And also with Midjourney in particular, everything's public.
Yeah.
Unless you pay a lot to have it private.
yeah, it's really
It's
expensive.
put onto like community boards and stuff
Yeah.
so that anyone can like, I want to take a variation of that. I want to save that for myself.
Yeah.
So it's quite nice in that way.
But yeah, it
There's-
does it brings
and
into question
don't-
the idea of ownership. Like, if
It
anything.
does, and I think at the moment, from my very small, my stupid brain, I look at it and think about exactly like that kind of thing about the whole. That could be on a board somewhere, and a person could type the tag pirate in, and it would bring up all of the most popular renders about a pirate. And does anyone necessarily need to own it? Does anyone necessarily? Is there like a massive change in ownership of digital assets coming. We've seen people try to make digital assets ownable through NFTs. Is the opposite coming, where it's a mass kind of democratization of ownership of images, I suppose. Like, we all own it, because that neural network is essentially taking the sum of digital human art and creating something. And I also think that's where some of the excitement comes from, because of that progress. Like, we see something, like, it's not often we get
it's collaborative, isn't it?
Yeah, a collaborative technological leap. I don't know whether it's that's a bit dramatic to say that, but like, it could be a completely different direction.
The same thing for like AI art is one thing. What about music? Like, what if you could just generate music endlessly, pick a genre, pick a style of voice, pick the instruments, choose
I feel like there's something
tempo.
like that exists, surely. Like,
There
at least
is.
something in a very rough form,
It's a lot
of like beat
rudimentary
generating.
stuff.
Music 2000, PlayStation.
Music 2000,
But
of
like,
course.
you could literally put in like, I want this structure, like verse, chorus, verse, bridge. Make me a popular rock song. Yeah, please.
Have you seen the popular challenge of using predictive text and singing it as if it's a song? So,
I have not.
So you like would start with a word on a notepad and being like, give me a word. So, acid.
Acid.
Yeah.
Strong word.
Acid is doing a bath now with the kids. That was that was literally my predictive text.
Now with the kids.
You got to sing it. Acid is doing a bath now with the kids. Oh God, that's a hot one. But there you go. Maybe we could write a song about that.
maybe we could do one entire song, which is just generated, AI generated for our Neon Musk.
Yeah, that's a great idea.
Where it's just, this makes no sense, but it doesn't have to. It was made by the robots.
Exactly. Well, I mean, was it the Flight of the Conchords years ago did the whole, humans are dead. So it's like coming on it. What a catchy tune as well. But yeah, all right.
Be quite good.
Solid ideas. And all thanks to AI.
I know.
Giving us that little seed.
Bloody AI.
It'll save us or destroy us.
I'm interested to see what other people think.
Well, we're only good at destroying ourselves as human beings, so I say give the AI a spin.
Okay, nice.
Why not?
Of it, at least.
Yeah,
that's true. All right, well, I guess that wraps today's chat. We could talk about AI for multiple episodes, I think.
Yeah.
It might be one of those things that we keep coming back to when it evolves and takes over.
It will evolve and take over.
But huge thanks to our patrons that help us evolve and grow.
Indeed.
And help us monetarily. There is a new tier on there if you're interested in watching our D&D show that's DM'd by Smith at the moment. It's called Booty. It's like a ragtag band in a pirate-themed adventure with some mostly comedy and hijinks.
It's just an excuse
Not
for
serious.
some funny role play. Yeah, in a magical pirate world with lots of things going on.
That's available in podcast form, and you can support that on Patreon specifically as well. Other than that, please enjoy more Hat Chat as it gets released on your favorite podcasting platform of choice. And we'll see you all next week. Any final words? Acid?
Acid.
Bathtub.
Nice.
Kids.
All right. See you all next week.
Bye.
Goodbye.